When we first met Emma and Raul, which is the med student, we came up with a basic philosophy, or at least I came up with a philosophy that we were trying to mention to them. And I told them the story of the golf balls. And later on, this really resonated, and my wife, Louise, will tell a little bit more about what happened at the end on this. But the story goes that a professor, philosophy professor, comes into class and says, today we're going to tell you or show you what life should be all about. And he proceeds to take out this large mayonnaise jar, the type you'd get in the stores, you know, big restaurants commercially. And then he puts it on the table and proceeds to take out a bucket of golf balls and pours it in. And the golf balls fill up to the top of the jar. And he says to his students, is it full now? And they say, yes, professor, it certainly looks full. Then he proceeds to take out a bucket of pea-sized gravel and pours it in and mixes it up, and the gravel goes all the way around the whole thing. And he says, is it full now? And he says, and they say, certainly looks like it's full, professor, yes. Then he proceeds to take out a bucket of sand and pours it in and shakes it between the golf balls and the gravel. And he says, is it full now? And they said, yes, professor, it certainly looks full. Then he proceeds to take out 2 cups of coffee and pours it slowly in, and the water goes in between, the coffee goes in between, it's soaking wet. And he says, now this should represent your life. The golf balls are the important things in life. Your friends, your family, Emma, and all the other people that in your health, and a roof over your head, and food on your table, and clothing on your back. The things that if you don't have, life is really miserable. The pebbles represent all the niceties in life, such as a nice TV set, a nice car, a nice country club to go to, a nice backyard to have fun with. Things if you don't have, you can still survive very nicely because you have the golf balls in life, the important things. And the sand represents all the irritants in life, such as I got to go to the cleaners tomorrow, I got to pick this up, or I have to do that. Something that expression, don't sweat the small stuff. So the sand represents all the small stuff in life. Now, if I took all the small stuff in life, that same amount of sand, and I poured that in, it would fill this much up. And then if I took all the gravel and I poured that in, it would fill this much up. And if I tried to put the golf balls in, maybe it would only fill this much up with a lot of golf balls left over. And he said, now what can you tell me about this situation? And they said, well, you wouldn't have much room for the golf balls. And he said, yes, that's the most important thing. You have to leave room for the golf balls, because if you don't, the important things in life will only occupy a small portion of your life, while your life will be all full of irritants, the sand, and the niceties in life to try to keep up with the Joneses, but can't. Always trying to do a little bit more than what you really can do, and your family and the important things in life are going to be left aside. So they said, but what about the 2 cups of coffee? And he said, no matter what you do, no matter how hectic the day is, always try to leave room to have in your day to be able to sit down with a friend and have 2 cups of coffee. And that was basically what we mentioned to Emma, Raul, and all the other mentors, mentees, thank you, any other mentees that we've had. And at the end of the program, would you want to mention what happened?
Emma and Rahul came with a big glass-shaped golf ball jar, and on it Emma wrote, always leave room for the important things. And they gave us golf balls, and we wrote their names on it and put it in. And we keep it out, and we have important people in our life. We ask them to put their names on golf balls, and we put them in there. And that's our philosophy, and that's what we impart to all our students that we've had. And it really starts the program off really nicely.
It was really good. I mean, it showed that they really understood the whole philosophy of life.
And we were touched by what they did, because they actually listened to what we said. And